Hey y'all, it's Ariel. I'm here to talk about my third week of teaching myself how to jump rope. This is probably like my penultimate addition to the series, but I finally got my Crossrope jump ropes in the mail. And so I'm also going to be doing like a first impressions and like review of the Crossropes set that they recommend for beginners. I got it at the beginning or the end of last week, so I was able to use it for this whole week. And so I have some opinions. It's been interesting. First, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about like what Crossropes are. Crossropes is like a brand of ropes. Most weighted jump ropes, the weight is weighted only in the handles, but with Crossropes, like they distributed the weight into the actual rope part. And apparently, they claim the difference is that when you're swinging the rope, you actually use more muscle when more muscles in your body when the weight is in the rope rather than in the handles. So I got like the beginner set that they recommend. It's called the Get Lean set. That's not my goal. I just got it because it's the recommended beginner set. And it comes with a half-pound rope and a quarter-pound rope. And it comes with one set of handles. And the handles are interchangeable, so you can like take them off and put them on a different rope, right? So you can quickly change between a half-pound and a 4-pound rope. And I think they have a bunch of different, they have like 2-pound ropes and whole pound ropes for different types of workouts. But they recommend the half-pound rope for beginners because apparently it's easier for beginners to keep a steady pace when they have a weighted rope. And I did notice in my week of using them, it absolutely slowed down the speed of my jumping, because the rope I was using for the first 2 weeks of my teaching myself how to jump rope, I was using like a cheap Amazon rope that it says it's about a pound, but the pound is not distributed in the rope itself. The rope itself is pretty light, and it goes like a whip, just really fast. As you saw in my first 2 weeks, that rope goes like a whip. It goes really fast. Whereas these, I mostly use the half-pound rope because that's the one they recommend for teaching yourself how to jump rope. And it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is really like something that you have to get used to if you already started off with a speed rope, which is what the cheap rope I was using was. Because before I was like tap 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 tap, whereas now it's 1, 2, 3, which is, it really makes it like so getting through my little 5-minute intervals is a lot easier. You know what I noticed in like the first couple days of using them, I felt it in my shoulders. And I was like, after 2 weeks of jumping rope like in a similar way, and like no longer like having like sore calves or shins or anything, now suddenly I'm feeling it in my shoulders. And like I said, the rope I used before was like 0.8 or like 0.9 pounds. So like the weight is there, but because it's not distributed in the same way that these ropes are, you don't feel it in your shoulders up here like this. And I can imagine, because I'm only using like a half-pound and a 4-pound rope. I can imagine like their 2-pound ropes or heavier. That probably really has like your whole midsection tired. Because I know either the day after or the night after I first used these heavier ropes for my workout, it just felt like my whole body was tired in a way that I had not felt since like the first 1 or 2 days. So getting through that workout, it felt like a full body situation. Like everything, like my shoulders had to be like, it forces you to be in like a good posture. You know how they teach you, I don't know how they teach you how to be a lady or whatever. And they teach you to stay in like this. And you have to, they don't teach you to stay. Imagine the pageants and the girls just Miss Alabama. But But no, I'm talking about they teach you shoulders back, good posture, shoulder blades together. And that's kind of how like doing this rope, like using this rope is how you have to be when you're jumping. So it kind of forces you to be in good posture. Another thing I noticed is that while I really didn't have to think about swinging the rope with the speed rope, when I started using these weighted ropes, I really have to like there feels like there's more coordination involved because I have to think about because I have to put effort into because it's harder. I have to put effort into swinging the rope, so I really have to think about the timing in a way that I didn't have to do with the speed rope because you just kind of like twitch a little bit and the rope goes around 5 times by itself. With this, every single swing you have to do it manually, and so you have to really get that timing right, and that's something that I really still have to work on, even with doing it for 7 days or so. It's probably gonna take like another week or two before I get a hang of like having to like, oh, I have to think of rather than just me like not haphazardly, but like me just without thinking, swinging the rope and the rope keeps going. It's like the difference between this is probably a terrible analogy. It's probably like the difference between like a manual car and an automatic car. Like, when you're in an automatic car, your car changes gears because that's just what it does by itself. You won't have to think about it. It just is what it is. But imagine that you've only ever drove an automatic car, and then suddenly now you gotta drive like a manual car. And so now you got to change gears when you're going up hills and stuff, or you got to change gear when you're speeding up. Because, girl, that's, if you can learn it, and it's probably a good thing to learn, because one day that might come in handy, like if you want to become like a race car driver or whatever. But, I digress. But, it's just going to take some effort to, like, get used to doing that, like, while I'm jumping. All right, so my first impressions of the Crossropes are that they are very aesthetically pleasing. They also seem to be very well made. Like, it seems like I can use these for a good amount of time before I'm going to have to replace them. Like, I'm probably never going to have to replace them because of how ADHD and flaky I am with exercise. It's just going to be a matter of time before I switch to like running or something. So I'm probably never going to have to replace them. And then like the thing with me is because I have such flakiness and ADHD and like I get bored easily with one thing and get excited about something else really fast, is that because I know these ropes are going to last, I'm kind of cyclical. And so like I'll go in like waves like, oh, right now I'm into swimming. Right now I'm into running. Right now I'm into walking. Right now I'm into lifting weights. The things that I like stay the same, but it's like a matter of me getting back around to it. Once one thing bores me, I'm like, all right, let's go to another thing again. And it's very rare for me to add something new to it. So like it's rare for me to like add like jump roping to the things that I do. Because like up until now, I've been like really going back and forth between lifting weights and running and walking. That's been my thing for like, let's say, over 7 years, 6-7 years. Like I lifted weights for the first time when I was in a senior in high school, right? So that'd be like 11 years. And then I started learning how to run when I was like learning how to run. I'd say I was like, what was 2010, 2011? So I was like 19, 20 when I first started like doing couch like 5K and teaching myself how to run. And like those have been like my main modes of like exercise since then. And I'm 29 now. And along the way I picked up like hiking because I got a dog and I got it like, and that was like 2014. So like it's not like I'm just picking up things along the way. So it's been like 11, 12 years of me like actively doing some type of exercise. And it's only been 3 things that I've really been like, adding to my stash, adding to my reservoir, adding to my collection of things to do for movement. So I could see like, because jump rope is so easy to pick up, I could absolutely see myself keeping these ropes, and these just be the staple of my life. And because the handles on the ropes are a lifetime warranty, so if I ever do like mess up my handles, all I gotta do is like contact them and they'll send me more. And if I do like mess up the ropes, replacement ropes are only like $20. Oh, I forgot to note, these ropes are expensive. The set of two plus the handles was like $99, but I think I had a coupon for something else, so it made it a little cheaper. But I figured because it's something that I can do during quarantine, and winter is coming, girl. Team White Walker around here. But winter's coming, and so like running is not going. I'm probably gonna try it, or walking. I'm probably gonna try it for as long as fall is with us. But I know as soon as like January hits or whatever, that's not gonna be a possibility for your girl, because your girl does not do cold weather. It ain't for me. It ain't for Sasha. It ain't for my spirit. So these jump ropes are really gonna be coming in handy, especially because of how like low motivation they are. Let's have ADHD corner. When you have ADHD or any other type of like executive dysfunction like that, motivation to do things, even things that you really enjoy, is just not present. You just don't have the motivation. You either lack the dopamine, you lack the receptors, or you lack the protein to process the dope. Something in that circuit is missing. It's not functioning well. And so even if you really like or enjoy doing the thing is hard, especially if it takes multiple steps to get to doing the thing, right? So like, let's say I want to go to the mall. If I already have on clothes, my hair is already done, my shoes are already on, going to the mall, no problem. Gonna happen, gonna go to the mall. I ain't got no issue. Like, I don't even particularly like the mall, right? But if like somebody suggested going to the mall and I'm already, ready, I'm go, because why not, right? But if somebody called me while I'm crusty, laying in the bed, hair not did, musty or whatever from sleeping and sweating, nails not done, just tired. The barrier to entry to going into the mall has gotten so much higher, because now I gotta get up, I gotta shower, I gotta brush my teeth, I gotta do my hair, I gotta wash my face, gotta put on clothes, gotta find an outfit, then put on clothes. None of those things I hate doing. It's the fact that the motivation to do those type of menial tasks is not there for people who have executive dysfunction. So this is a long tangent, but a tangent to let you know that doing something like jumping rope has fewer of those barriers to entry, because it takes fewer of those menial tasks. I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to put on clothes or anything, brush my teeth, all that kind of stuff to jump rope in my living room. Like I said in other videos, I do is put on a bra and some tennis shoes, right? I also want to note that the ropes come with this little bag or whatever. It's really actually, like, I'm not really a fan of like I didn't really think this bag was gonna come in handy for much of anything, because I'm just like cynical about like little like gimmicks that companies do when they like give you free things. Like, girl, leave me alone. But actually, I've been keeping my ropes in this bag the whole time. So, and otherwise they probably just be strewn across my living room, because that's just how I am. I don't think I'm gonna do like a breakdown of how each day went this week. I just want to note that going into this week, my goals were still consistency. I wanted to increase my number of intervals, and I wanted to incorporate more movement other than jump rope into my days. Out of those 3 goals, I think I accomplished 1.5. So the first goal being consistency. Was I consistent? Okay, let me explain. The end of last week is when Aunt Flo came, and my uterus likes to knock, and wait before it enters, right? And so when I filmed the video for week 2, it was knocking, so it wasn't so bad, but my mood was still very, very much peak messy. And you could probably tell from the energy in that video that sis, the energy was different, you know. Things were different. But a day after that video, Aunt Flo was done knocking. She was coming in the room. She was like, hey girl, hey, how you been? How you auntie and them doing? All right, how you mama now? I'm here. No babies, no babies. So it was real, it was, just say it was a time, you know, it was a time. So I took 4 days off, which I felt like something I was going to need to learn how to do, be able to take days off and return to jumping rope. And I did an okay job of doing that, right? I took my 4 days off, got back to jumping rope, but because I took my 4 days off, I was out of my rhythm. Because remember, before I was doing 2 days on, 1 day off, and so my little schedule got thrown askew from on flow, and so like it just wasn't a habit anymore. I had to like work myself up into making it back into a habit. So like I do my my weekly updates in 7-day increments. And when I say 7-day increments, I mean 7 days of me jumping, not 7 days like of actual time. So like it took me 2 weeks to get to 7 days of jumping, which in the grand scheme of things is not terrible. That means I jumped 3 times 1 week and 4 times the next. But before I was doing 4 or 5 times a week, you know, it was a little scary. I was like, wait a minute, am I getting outside of my consistency? It's only been, 2 weeks. I can't be messing up already, girl. I'm trying to make it to December so I was supposed to figure out a treat to give myself for being consistent. But you know what? Here's the thing. The treat is gonna be like knowing that I was consistent with something. And the treat will be like improved cardiovascular health and improved fitness. That will be the treat for now until like I'll come up with something. I'm impulsive, and there'll be something I want to impulse buy, and I'll be like, no girl, wait till December, and that will be when you get the nice thing that you want that's not important for you to have now. Oh, and goal 2, increase the number of intervals. Look here, girl. That probably would have happened if I were still using the cheap speed rope. But because I was using these Crossropes, jumping was like, I'd say like 25 to 50% harder than it was with the speed rope. Here's what I messed up. On day 3, right? I was like, I keep tripping over this rope because it's going so slow. Like in day 1 and 2. In day 1 and 2, I kept tripping over the rope because it was going slower than I was used to. So I was like still getting annoyed by that. So in day 3, I was like, I'm sorry that. I'ma just this is what I'm gonna do. And just like do it, like try and jump the same speed I was doing with the speed rope. But let me tell you, that ain't gonna work for your girl, because the amount of effort it takes to swing that rope so fast because it's heavy. By the time I finished day 3, I felt like my chest was pounding. You ever seen think of those Looney Tunes cartoons where it's usually like I feel like when they have a crush on somebody and their heart comes out their chest, it goes doom 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 doom. That's how I felt, but it was because I was tired. And it was not like this. It was I can't do it. I can't. Gotta slow it down. And that's what I told myself. I was like, girl, do you want to die in this living room? You live by yourself. Who's gonna call the police? Sasha can't do it. She ain't got thumbs. Who love yourself, girl. So I tried to slow it down for day 3. No, day 4. Because day 3 almost took me out. I almost took your girl out. It was like Miley Cyrus out here. I'm gonna try to take out your best bitch. Anyways. But day 4 I slowed it down. It was still faster than it needed to be, but I was able to slow it down, and it was like it was hard, but it did not feel like the death of day 3. And this is really like a testament to like cardio, because like when I first started running or whatever, or the first time I started running, like it's a matter of like finding your pace and like being able to run that pace for how long you need to be running. And I feel like it's the same process for jumping rope. Like I need to like find my pace, and that's where I'm going to be for the process of me learning how to jump rope. But like for the rest of the week, days 5, 6, 7 or whatever, wasn't an issue. You know, days are like, you know, real. It was hard. You know, I did. Okay, as the week went on, I didn't feel it in my shoulders as much as I did for the first 2 days. But I did feel it like cardiovascularly, like how much more of a workout it is to have these heavier ropes. And goal number 2, obviously did increase my intervals. I was struggling to do my regular 5 intervals. Girl, that's gonna have to be in the future when I figure life out. So goal number 3 was to incorporate more movement, and I actually did do that. It wasn't a whole lot, but I did. I played Ring Fit Adventure about 3 times, and I walked Sasha about 3 times. So I started like slowly adding a little something throughout the week that also included a little movement, and so that was nice. I'm probably gonna increase that until, you know, I get to a place that feels like that's enough. So right now it feels like my activity level is still really low. Obviously, I'm jumping for 5 minutes, and then maybe doing 30 to 45 minutes of playing a video game, which I'm not trying to downplay, because in a week of playing that game, I probably can do like 150, 200 squats, because it's gonna be like different variations in squatting and running and like ab work and yoga and stuff in there. So it's nothing to be played with, girl. Your girl be tired afterwards, but it's really, you know, it's really low on like the movement scale. Like if somebody were to like say, is it an intense exercise or is it a moderate exercise? I'd say it's more moderate, right? So I'm probably gonna do more like moderate, that kind of level of exercise. Maybe not increase the intensity, because that would decrease my motivation to do it, but increase the amount of times that I do the moderate exercise throughout the week. So what did I learn this week? I was reminded that the journey will not be a straight line. It will be something like this, but I'll get there. I'll get here. Number 2, I learned that heavy ropes are not to be played with. The people who do like the videos on YouTube and like Facebook and Reddit and like Instagram and TikTok and all that, like their arms have to be strong as I don't know what, because this like I don't think you get a good handle. I guess if you've done the battle ropes at the gym, you might have a good understanding of like, it's obviously not as heavy as those, but you have a good understanding of like how much work it takes to like move a rope. And so like they're doing it for like 30, 45 minutes along with like jumping up and down and doing tricks and stuff. They are beasts. There's a reason why they say that jump rope has more cardio benefits than almost every other form of cardio exercise. I think they say like something like 10 minutes of jumping rope is like equivalent to like 30 minutes of running, but I have to like look that up. Don't take my word for that, girl. There ain't no sources for that. There ain't no scientific integrity for that statement. Number 3, I learned that pacing is important. That's something I'm going to work on going into next week. Number 4, also learned that even though I'm able to do like Ring Fit Adventure and even like going on like walks and stuff, I'm able to do that in the afternoon. Something about jumping rope, I have to do it in the morning, or I don't have the motivation to do it at all. I guess because it takes a little bit more of like get up and go and oomph to it, that it's something I need to get done while I still have that kind of get up and go and oomph in my body left. So like that's for me, that's a morning time emotion. Like I wake up like, for some reason I've really been in a George Michael Faith mood. you know, this week in the morning. So like, you gotta have faith, baby. Like, it's a really upbeat. I be into it. I be dancing around the room. Don't come for me. It's just like that sometimes. Number 5, I learned that when I add other movements, like if I do the squats or I go for like a long like 2-mile walk with my dog or whatever, my legs do get sore easier in the muscles that I use to jump rope. Like if I do like a 2-mile walk and then I come back and I do my regular 5-minute jump rope workout, like when I go to bed that night or when I wake up the next morning, my calves and my shins are sore again. And that's not something that was happening anymore in the last week or even in the days where I don't do added movement. But I think it's the compound of like the combination of the combination of the movements compounding on each other that makes it so like my muscles are getting fatigued. And so I'm gonna have to be like really sure that I pay attention to that going forward, so that I don't, like, I remember I just said that I wanted to like start increasing the amount of moderate exercise I do, but I'm gonna do it very carefully because I'm not trying to injure myself. Like I said in earlier videos, I can't be consistent if I'm injured. It just is what I can't do. Is if I get injured, how you gonna be consistent if I'm laid up? It just ain't gonna happen. All right, so I think my goals for my last week of teaching myself how to jump rope, and I'll be week 4. It's probably going to be like 2 weeks from now because, like I said, I count the amount of days that I do activity, not literal days of the week. My goals will be to figure out my pacing with the heavy ropes, and I think that's going to be it. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to figure out my pacing with the heavy ropes so I can get back to 5 minutes of jumping being easy for me. For the ultimate goal, so that I can eventually do the 10-minute, another one. Okay, not so simple, a little less simple. I'm going to work on pacing and also work on the alternate foot jump, which is when you jump like this. Instead of like, I'm always jumping like this in my videos. And occasionally I can do like a running jump. But for some reason, like the alternate foot jump, I can't do. I'm going to figure that out so that in the future I'm able to do the, there's some free like beginner workouts on the Crossrope app. And I think even like the most beginner of the workouts is 10 minutes long. So if I work up to that, it's 10 minutes long and like half of it is regular jump and half of it is also the step jump. So if I'm able to, with my ultimate goal of reaching there, I'm going to work on pacing and we're going to work on alternate foot jump. And then maybe after 4 weeks, I'll be able to do that or start doing that. All right. Thank you for listening to me ramble for this long, because girl, it's went from daytime to nighttime outside. It's been great. It's been real. It's been great. Hope you like this review of my Crossropes and, my week 3 of teaching myself how to jump rope. Like, comment, subscribe. You both do what you want because you're grown, but I hope you like it because see y'all for week 4. My final episode of teaching myself how to jump rope series. A series, girl. Girl, I'm just talking to myself in a room.